Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Danny, aka Nanny Phantom, and we are here with an exciting video, guys. I'm super stoked for this video. Pretty much as the title, you will see that this is another draft analysis video. This right here is gonna be my second one on the channel. So right now I do have two leagues that I'm currently working in. The first one is TBA, as you guys should have seen before. It's me and Jay Ricky pretty much taking on other 2 to 3 coach teams. So there's about 3 people over there, and we all play each other. That's the other league, TBA, so make sure you do check that one out. It's pretty exciting. We talk about the team and all that, but this one's a little bit different. This one is a solo league. You know, everybody's more used to solo leagues, but this one is a league that's been around for a good little while now. It is called the PTL. It used to be split up into about 3 divisions, I believe, but this season they decided to just go with 1 division. But we do have a huge roster. So guys, before I get into the team and explaining pretty much the tiering system and all of that, make sure you do drop a nice fat like and subscribe, because guys, again, we are starting up the channel again. This is a really fun journey that we're gonna go through. It's exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm still getting used to doing like live battles and just commentating in general. It's different. Like when you've been gone from the game for a little while, when it comes to YouTube, it's a little rough kind of to get back to things, but I think I've been doing pretty solid. So I hope you guys have been liking the commentary. All right, but yeah, again, leave a like, subscribe, and this is gonna be a draft league on Showdown. And I will be trying to do all the battles live. Again, sometimes schedules kind of mix up and I can't do them live, but I'm really going to try my hardest to make sure I can schedule the battle in a time where I can record it live, okay? Because I think that's just the funnest way to kind of get into a league, just watching the person do it live and seeing all these thought processes during the actual battle, when you can't really think about hindsight and things like that compared to like a post-com. So enough about me rambling on, guys. We are going to get into this draft analysis. So again, this is the Pokemon Tri League, the PTL. I was in this team. I was in the league last season, but I was like a sub, so I just took over a team. I didn't do too well. Now hopefully I can do a lot better, but the PTO is super competitive, guys. So this is gonna be my first league back against like really good people. Like almost every single week is gonna be a tough like person we're going up against. So it's gonna be pretty fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy this one a lot, and I hope you guys do enjoy it also. Again, we're back to the channel, so this is pretty exciting. So PTL was formed of 22 coaches. So yes, 22 coaches in one pool. It's a little bit crazy. A lot of things are gonna get sniped, but I think at the end of the day, this creates a really balanced roster for everybody. So not everybody, a lot of people aren't gonna be like top heavy, especially with one rule that they added. So first, let me talk about the tiering system. This one is not it's not by tiers, just like the last league, the TBA. That one was by tier. This one is by points. So I'm sure a lot of you guys already know tiers and points are like very different. They make you draft the team very differently, and it makes you think in a lot of different ways. The point system is very interesting, because again, you can be a little bit more top heavy, and then have a lot of low point picks at the end, or you can just be balanced and kind of choose whatever route you want to go with. So altogether, we did have 120 points. That's how much we could use, and depending on the Pokemons, they're each based like on certain points. So you have to have at least 10 to 12 Pokemons. So no lower than 10, no more than 12. And you do have to draft a Mega, I do believe. I'm not sure 100% if you have to draft a Mega, but I think you do. I did, so spoilers, I do have a Mega. And pretty much you cannot draft 2 Pokemons from point tiers 18 to 16, I do believe. So you can only draft 2 from there. So if you pick up a 18 and a 17, you can't draft from those point system anymore, which again I think creates a more balanced team, and also helps with snipes, because again, 22 people, guys. Like I think like 8th or 9th in the draft, so I had to wait. Everybody has to wait a long time to come back up and down, so a lot of things are gonna get sniped. But I think overall the team is come out pretty fun. I think it's gonna be a fun team. Hopefully we can do some magic with it. So we did have some post-draft transactions. So like my draft is at first was a little bit different than my final draft, but I'll talk about those mons that I picked and dropped at the end. And then I'll let you know pretty much what I have now. I'm gonna just go through what I have now. I don't really feel like explaining the mons that I had before because I did do those swaps, so it makes sense to not really talk about those too much. So guys, I know I rambled on a lot. I just want to make sure you guys understand what's going on when it comes to the draft system, the picking system, and all of that. So again, I was 9th on the draft roster, and a lot of good things were taken. Like I wanted Urshifu because Urshifu's broken. I wanted Dragapult because it's extremely good. I wanted to try Tapu Lele, but I kind of wanted this Pokemon that I'm gonna talk about right now first. But Lele didn't get back to me. Not surprising. But the first Pokemon that we did come here and draft is Garchomp. So you can see right here on the screen this dragon, amazing dragon. Garchomp is one of my favorite Pokemons in general. I think the design is just amazing. And like I've told Ricky in the past when we were doing the other draft analysis, I sometimes just pick Pokemon because of how cool they look. But Garchomp, obviously everybody knows that it doesn't just look cool, it does a lot of work. The reason I really like Garchomp and why I chose it is because first of all, it can pretty much do anything. So you don't know if it's gonna come offensive, defensive, mixed, rocks, scale shots, swords dance, anything like that. It's really cool. It gets the ability rough skin, which could be very useful if you're ever up against a physical attacker that you think might do a lot of chip to your team. You can bring this as a bulky defensive mon with helmet and rough skin and pretty much chip away the whole team, and they're gonna be pretty annoyed when the rough skin rocky helmet comes into play. But Garchomp I really do like. Again, it can not just be defensive, it can be offensive. It has a good speed tier in 102, which is outspeeding base 100s, which is pretty cool. I like that because things like Jirachi and Mew and things like that won't be outspeeding it unless they scarfed. And the move that Garchomp got this generation is Scale Shot, which is pretty cool. It's almost like Dragon Dance, except it raises your speed, it doesn't raise your attack, and it lowers your defense. The good thing about Garchomp is that it's so bulky that even if it's lowered the defense, like it most likely won't die to one hit unless it's ice or a very strong fairy. So I really do like Garchomp. I think it's gonna be one of our best mons in this draft. Pretty much, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited. I don't know nicknames yet, but if I do already have nicknames, they'll probably show up on the actual slides. But again, we picked up Garchomp first mon on the roster. He was worth 17 points. So again, I can only draft one more from the points between 18 and 16, but Garchomp is going to be really cool. Hopefully we can get some good kills with this thing and just be able to help out the team a lot. And rocks, hopefully we can get some rocks up with Garchomp. Okay guys, so we can now transition into the next mon. The next mon that I did end up picking is Gengar. So yes guys, as you see, we picked the mascot of the channel. Gengar is the new mascot, and I had to give it a shot. I was like, first of all, Gengar, again, design, beautiful. It's my favorite Pokemon when it comes to design. I just really like how it looks. I've always liked like ghost type Pokemon, and they're really cool, and Gengar is just top tier for me. But not only in design, but also in use and competitive, both draft and the metagame, like OU. This Pokemon is really good, and there's not many things that can take its double stab. So even like dark types don't really want to come in on a sludge bomb. It also gets Dazzle and Gleam or Focus Blast, which is really useful. But ghost stab is super important. I think it's a good thing to have. Only normal types are immune to it. Other than that, everything else is gonna pretty much take a hefty chunk from Gengar. Base 130 special attack, base 110 speed, sets it up to be a really great sweeper at the end of the game, or something just kind of to break down your walls. Like Garchomp, this thing can do different things, but you can't really ever play it too defensive, which is it's a little annoying, because when you want your poison type to kind of synergize with your dragon type, you want it to be bulky just so it can take fairy hits. But we've patched that on later in the draft, and the next mon you'll see is really good against fairies. But Gengar itself is just a killer. 110 base speed, I really like that because I wanted to have something decently fast. It is our second fastest mon on the whole roster. It's pretty important. I think Gengar is going to be important. It can soak up toxic spikes that are on the field also, obviously, because it doesn't have to levitate anymore like it did a few gens ago. Now it has curse body and things like that. And Curse Body alone can come in very handy if we ever need it to be. But Gengar is going to be cool. It gets nasty. Subsets are pretty good. Sub-disable is pretty awesome. You can sometimes run it bulky. I know, again, like I said, it's not the best bulky mon, but if there are weaker things, like weaker fairies that cannot really do too much to this thing, it'll be really, really great. And like a sub nasty plus set is awesome. I really love Gengar a lot. Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. If 1 week I see they don't have any Ghost Resist, then this thing's just gonna come in handy. And it's gonna be one of our top mons. Hopefully it can put in the work again. Our mascot, so I'm super hyped about this one. I hope you guys do feel pretty good about Gengar. I think Gengar is going to be really cool and I'm excited about it. So let's give a thumbs up for Gengar here, our mascot of the channel. Of course. And next up we do have Mega Agron. So Mega Agron, it's one of like the more valuable megas when it comes to bulk. It was only 11 points. Gengar was 16 points. So again, we cannot draft any more from 18 to 16 because I already picked up my 2. But Mega Agron, 11 points is pretty good value, I think, in my opinion, because this thing is super bulky. It'll be able to set up rocks. It'll be able to take so many hits from fairies, do a lot of damage with heavy slam. As you see, its HP is not the greatest, 70 HP and then 60 speed def, not the best, but it's still bulky enough because you're almost always going to be putting in EVs and speed def over defense because its defense is crazy high, 230 defense. Doesn't really need to have any EVs in defense. It's pretty much going to take any hits. And then the ability Filter I really love. So Filter pretty much halves the damage. I believe it was half, right? Half the damage. Yeah, but I can't read it. It says illegal. But I'm pretty sure it has the damage of super effective moves, which makes this thing even more amazing because it's not going to die in one hit from anything. So it's pretty cool. I do like this defensive core of Garchomp and Mega Agron, just because, again, with fairies, it's going to be pretty interesting to kind of synergize together. So you kind of want to have that good Dragon Fairy Steel. And Garchomp, again, Agron can take hits from the threats that are going to come into Garchomp. So ice attacks can easily be eaten up, fairy attacks can easily be eaten up, and dragon attacks can easily be eaten up. So I think Garchomp and Mega Agron are going to synergize very well together, and having right off the bat 2 rockers is going to be really helpful for us because we do want to pressure teams with hazards. Even though heavy duty boots is a thing in draft, hazards are still pretty solid in my opinion because they chip away at other things that don't have boots, and it can set up Gengar or Garchomp and things like that. So I'm super excited about Mega Agron. It's a mega I've been wanting to try for a while. I don't know if I've ever drafted in the past, but I've definitely thought about it, and this time when I saw 11 points, I'm like, I'm snagging this before it gets taken away, because again, a roster of 22 people most likely would get sniped. So again, Agron, pretty cool, has some cool coverage moves, and just a really fat wall for our core to be able to take advantage of. Hopefully Agron can chip away at certain things and help us win some battles. Yeah. Alright, next up we do have Togekiss. So I wanted to complete that Dragon Steel Fairy core. And this is one of the best ways to complete it. So Togekiss obviously is Flying Fairy, so it's gonna take ground moves for Agron, it's gonna take fighting moves for Agron. Garchomp's gonna take fire moves for Agron. So this synergy together between Garchomp, Mega Agron, and Togekiss is going to be amazing. As obviously, if you guys did see me and Ricky's TBA analysis, draft analysis, we also do have Togekiss there. And like I said on that video, I love this mon. It's my favorite fairy. It's between this and Mega Diancie, but I think I like Togekiss better. It can take on so many mons, and its ability Serene Grace it's too good. It's too good. I've won games because this thing literally just flinched walls for me when I needed it the most. So Togekiss is a very reliable mon for me. It's one of my go-to mons. Having Defog is going to be very useful. I do believe this thing gets Heal Bell also. So that's going to be amazing. It gets screens and things like that. But this thing's just a fat wall that can also set up and just break down teams, because base 120 special attack and base 115 speed def, it's very great for us because it's a very bulky mon that can just stay on the field constantly roosting. And like what I talked about before, heavy duty boots is a big factor in this generation. It's probably the best item in my opinion, and it fits so well on Togekiss. Heavy duty boots, not taking rocks, not taking anything, well, just rocks because it doesn't take spikes. It's so good. It's so good. Being able to come in at full health and not worry about Rocka's damage is going to be amazing. You're able to chip away at things or just get off a nice defog to help out the rest of the team. Togekiss, again, one of my favorite fairies. I'm super excited about it. I think it just synergizes so well with Gengar, Garchomp, and Mega Agron. So I was pretty happy straight off the bat to be able to get these 4 Mons. Again, I thought I was going to get sniped from Togekiss, but I didn't. I thought I was going to get possibly sniped from Mega Agron, but I didn't. So I was pretty happy with these 4, and I think straight off the bat is a very good core to be running for this league, and hopefully we can do some work with these 4. Cool. So next up, we do have Superior. Shout out to J Ricky. Again, I always bring up J Ricky because he's the homie right now. But he told me to try out Superior. He one time did sweep Dan, aka A Drive, with a Swords Dance Superior, which I did watch. Pretty sick. You guys should check that out. But that kind of inspired me to go for Superior. It's a cool mon. It's obviously it's not the strongest Pokemon straight off the bat, but once a few Leaf Storms come off, this thing can just wreck teams. And it doesn't only have the ability to just spit out Leaf Storms, it's also really good when it comes to be a support mon. So this thing could be Substitute Leech Seed, it could be Glare. Very cool mon. I very much think this is going to be a very important mon to our roster. We did need something that could help us a little bit more with electric attacking moves. Obviously Garchomp's immune, but I did want something else to kind of take it. This thing's not the bulkiest thing in the world, but it's got decent defenses, and the speed 113, I really wanted it because I wanted something a little bit quicker than 110. I did want Greninja at first. I think Greninja would have fit very well into our team also, but I think overall Superior most likely fits a little bit better. I just wanted the speed from Greninja, but it's okay. This thing is still faster than Gengar, and I still think it's gonna put in a good amount of work. I really am excited to use that Glare set. I think that's gonna be pretty awesome. You guys know when things are paralyzed, it's just not a good day for whoever Pokemon is paralyzed. So Superior is gonna be really cool. Maybe one day we could bring that Swords Dance Superior like Ricky did. That's pretty sick. I really do like that setup. So again, not too crazy much information about Superior, just because it's very straightforward Pokemon. It's either gonna be like Life Orb, Leaf Storm, or it's gonna be a support set when it comes to Leech Seed, Glare, and things like that. So I think Superior is gonna be very awesome. I hope you guys do like the Grass Snake. This thing is gonna be very useful to us. And next is Buzzwole. So Buzzwole is a great mon, man. I'm really excited to use this thing. I love this Pokemon, and when I used to use it in Gen 6 and things like that. I believe it's Gen 6 or Gen 7. Probably Gen 7, right? I don't know. Whenever this Pokemon came in. This thing is extremely bulky, so we can see that it has 107 HP, 139 attack, 139 defense, and then the speed is 79, which is not the best, but it's fine because I didn't really draft this thing because I was looking for speed. I drafted this because it creates some really good synergy when it comes to how decently weak we are to ground. It may not look super weak because we have Superior, who is a grass type, and Togekiss, who's a flying type, but there are other Pokemons that are gonna benefit from having another really bulky defensive mon to be able to just sponge hits from ground types and things like that. A fighting stab of close combat, leech life, roost. This thing is really cool. I really like this thing. You can get bulk up, you can start doing some crazy sets. I could even scarf this if I want to one day and just run scarf close combat. Buzzwole is pretty cool. I really do like this mon. I think it fit the team extremely well. This one is a little bit on the higher side of the points, so this one's 14 points. But I really think it was worth the pick. I was thinking between Heracross and Buzzwole, but the reason I went for Buzzwole is just because I wanted a little bit more of that bulk. Again, Superior can take ground types hits, but it's not super bulky, so it doesn't want to do that every single week. When Buzzwole coming in will be able to handle any ground types and handle a lot of typings that are going to be dangerous to our team. So I'm really excited about Buzzwole. Its ability, Beast Boost. You know, this ability is amazing. Again, whenever you do get a kill, it raises the highest the highest base stat that you have. So like, let's say example, I have my attack at the highest. Whenever I kill someone, the attack will go up. Or if my defense is the highest, then whenever I kill someone, my defense will go up, things like that. The only annoying part about Buzzwole is like, yeah, it does have a really good HP, 107, but its SPDEF is pretty lacking. 53 SPDEF isn't the best, so I do have to be very careful with that, because obviously, like I said, this league is very competitive. So people are gonna obviously know that its SPDEF isn't the best in the world. So even if they have a physical attacker that has like a decent special attacking move pool, they may run like some special attacks just to be able to hit Buzzwole. So I do have to be careful about that. I have to play around. I have to kind of switch between things. But Buzzwole I really enjoy. I think this mon is going to be very useful to the team. I love that it has Roost. I love that it has Leech Life and things like that. I don't know. Let me see if it's got any other cool moves this generation. It's got Dual Wing Beat, which could be pretty useful. What else did it get? Let's see. It's got high horsepower, which is nice also, just in case we need a ground type move against a team that has Rillaboom or things like that. That could be pretty useful. Close combat I think is really awesome. I don't know if it always had close combat, but I just love close combat. That move is just so strong. And coming from an attack that's 139 base, close combat is going to be pretty rocking. So I'm excited for Buzzwole. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a bit like Garchomp. You don't know if it's going to be offensive, defensive, what kind of shenanigans that Buzzwole is going to bring. It can be a dangerous threat if people don't prepare for it enough, or if they let one of their checks to it pretty much go down. Then Buzzwole can sweep a team, or it can just chip away at teams. It's really good at chipping away through walls, because again, it's bulky and it has a very high attack stat that can be very helpful. So I'm pretty excited about Buzzwole. Bug fighting is something that we did kind of need for the team, especially a fighting type. It's always good to have a good fighting type. You never know when you need a strong fighting type to pretty much be able to break walls, and it's going to be extremely good synergy with Gengar. I really like that synergy together, because Buzzwole can eat pretty much almost every hit from any dark types and just be very annoying. So I really do like the synergy between Gengar and Buzzwole. They both are psychic weak, but you know, things like Agron can take care of that, and then we have another Pokemon later on that will be able to, well, two Pokemon that will be able to help us with that. So Buzzwole I think is a very solid pick for the team. So far the team is looking really nice, synergizing very well, and I'm super excited about it. So yeah, give a hands up for Buzzwole, guys. It's gonna be one of the top mons on this team. I can feel it already. All right, and then next up we do have the big boy Snorlax. So a lot of people know Snorlax is just annoying. So I think I might have used it once in the past. Again, most of these Pokemons I have not used this generation, but previous generations I have. But the cool thing about Snorlax is it has some cool abilities. It does have immunity, which not a lot of people use, but it could be very useful because it can get poisoned at that point. But the main ability that I really was kind of like looking towards was the Thick Fat, because if you do kind of look through our team, besides Garchomp, no one else can really take fire hits, like fire type attacks, and Snorlax will be able to eat those up, especially if they're on the specially defensive side. With Thick Fat, it'll be able to eat that up, and ice moves. Again, I wanted something to kind of work with ice also. We do have Mega Agron, which is a really good check to ice Pokemons, but I don't want to only have one. So the good thing about Snorlax is it'll be able to take ice hits for Garchomp, for Togekiss, for Superior. Again, Buzzwole is not too bulky on the special side, and a lot of ice hitters are on the special side. So Snorlax will be able to come in and just eat that up and then start doing its thing. And what Snorlax can do is pretty much curse up. I like curse, I like rest, I like just a bulky Snorlax. Maybe some weeks could be an assault vest, so I can just be completely physically defensive, or leftovers, or use the ability gluttony and just use up berries and curse up and just be annoying. Because once Snorlax starts getting up these curses, it's very hard to kill this thing. Again, like, its HP is ridiculously high, 160 base HP, ridiculous. And its defense is 65, not that great, but thanks to the HP, it does kind of help that a little bit of a weakness there. And like I said, it starts putting up curses and this thing becomes a huge threat. Snorlax very good, a ghost immunity that is pretty helpful. The reason I do like things like Snorlax and Miltank is because they are normal types, and usually normal types, they're good, but they're not super amazing when it comes to the defensive side, just because the only things that they do that they can come into are ghost moves they'll be immune to, but they don't resist anything else. But with Thick Fat, it's pretty much got a resistance to fire and ice moves, so that just adds so much value to Snorlax. Snorlax was 12 points, which makes sense, a very good mon. This thing is just gonna be fun. It's gonna be a wall that just soaks hits. I do think they have very good synergy with Agron, because Agron's very physically defensive. This thing's very special defensive. Even though they're both weak to fighting moves, Togekiss just laughs at that. And again, we do have some other Pokemon that might be able to take some fighting moves also, so it's gonna be pretty nice. We are a little bit weak to fighting, but it's okay because even Buzzwole will be able to do a lot of damage, take hits, and just do damage back. And then again, we have some other Pokemon coming up to be able to take some fighting moves. So Snorlax, I think, is going to be a very good value pick. I think it just rounds off our team very well. A very balanced team, bulky offense. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to try out this thing. I have not really had a lot of experience with it, but it's gonna come in clutch. I can feel it, guys. So give it up to the big Snorlax, and little Munchlax is our team logo mascot, so you know, having the big papa in here is gonna be real nice. I can't wait to use this thing. Hopefully I can make it sweep some weeks. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so next up, I did pick up a very value pick, like very low on points. I wasn't low on points, but this pick itself is low on points, like a very low point count. This one was worth 5 points, and that Pokemon is Sneasel. So Sneasel, obviously not as good as Weavile. I do really like Weavile. I think Weavile's a pretty cool mon, but Sneasel, I think, being worth 5 points is really good for us. We add another mon that's faster than both Gengar and Superior, so we have 115 speed on there, which I think is pretty cool. And having this nice little niche mon that's only worth 5 points is gonna be amazing. Again, this is a NFE mon, so I'm not gonna be running Eviolite or anything like that on it. Who knows, maybe one week I would, but I doubt I really will. But this thing can come in really handy with Choice Band, Life Orb. It can still Swords Dance up. It has priority, which is something that I was lacking. I didn't have any priority on the team yet, so having this thing is pretty great. I didn't have a dark type either, so having Sneasel here just kind of checks off a lot of things that I was missing. First of all, dark type, second, priority, third, a good strong attack in ice type, and then the last thing that really checked off my list was I wanted a mod that would have have knockoff. So Sneasel is really useful for all of that. It's got that new ice move, triple axle, which is pretty cool. Again, I've used Weavile, and Weavile was my top killer in the league that I used it, so I really love that mon. So hopefully at least Sneasel can do even half of that, because if it does, then it's just gonna set up for our team really well. Again, like, I have very fierce attackers like Gengar and Garchomp, so this thing coming in and chipping away or being able to just maybe sweep at the end of the game, it's got really good speed tier at 115. I do love that, and I think it was a good needed speed tier. Attack 95, not too bad when it has very strong hitting stab moves. So I'm really excited about Sneasel. Very low points, 5 points, which I think is a good steal for us, and I'm excited. I've never used Sneasel before. I've seen a lot of people use it. I love Sneasel's design. I kind of like it better than Weavile, to be honest, the design. So I'm pretty hyped about it. Hopefully we can do some work with Sneasel. That dark ice combo was very needed, and I'm pretty excited about it. So the next 3 mons that I am going to talk about, I didn't have them at first. So at first I drafted Slowking and Colossal, and I ended up dropping them, and I picked up first, we're gonna go with Tentacruel. So Tentacruel, I needed a bulky water type, which is pretty good. Again, this thing's physical defense isn't the best, but I think we'll be fine because Agron itself is really strong on the physical defensive side. So hopefully this thing can at least still do a good chunk of work for us. I've used I'm not sure if I used Tentacruel. I think I may have had it and when I subbed in PTL last season. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I remember using it once, but not for long. I remember trading it, and it was actually pretty good. I really liked it. It did work. Toxic spikes, which is another thing that we really needed badly. I do love having hazards that chip away at teams, chip away at walls and things like that. So having toxic spikes is a very key thing. And this speed def is wild. 120 speed def is great. 100 speed is great. Special attack is kind of lacking, but that's fine. I'm not really picking it for the power. I'm picking it more for the bulk. And it also gets rapid spin. As you've seen up to this point, Togekiss was the only one that could get rid of hazards. So having something like Tentacruel with rapid spin is going to be great. This thing also gets knockoff, which is cool. Get some cool coverage moves. But the main reason is that I did want a water type. I did want another poison type that will be able to come into fairies a lot better than Gengar would. And also what did I say? Rapid spin. That's the last thing. I really wanted a rapid spinner. I think that's important. I think we really needed that. Even if there's a ghost type on the field, I don't think it would want to come in on Tentacruel because it does get knockoff. So this thing could be a really cool utility mod. Not really here to do damage, but kind of to be annoying, set up toxic spikes, soak up hits, and knock off items, which I think is going to be very useful for us. So I'm excited to use this thing. Hopefully it can come some weeks. I haven't always been the biggest fan of Tentacruel in the past. Design wise, I do love it. I'm always going to come back to that, talking about the design of the Pokemon. I think is really sick. But I've never had the best of luck with it, but hopefully this season we can try it out and give it a good chance, and hopefully it can come in, do some work for us. Tentacruel, I believe, was 9 points, so that's a pretty good steal. It does add another weakness to Psychic, but Sneasel is immune to it, so that kind of works a little bit well together. And this can hopefully take some fighting moves also, which will be pretty cool. But talking about weakness to fighting and Psychic, the next Pokemon that we did pick up was Mesprit. So this one I have to give a shout out to Jay Ricky. He really wanted me to draft this Pokemon, and of course I took it. It's extremely good. It's got a lot of what we needed. It gives us a Levitator, which gives us another immunity to ground, which I think can only really help us. It gives us a very good mon that can come in on fighting and Psychic types. And this thing, a lot like Garchomp, it can be a mixture of things. This thing also gets Stealth Rocks, which is amazing. There's another hazard. We have Agron, we have Garchomp, we have Tentacruel, we have Mesprit. They can all set up hazards for us, which is pretty amazing. But this thing, you never know. I believe this gen it got Nasty Plot, which is sick, because this thing, if you look at its stats, it got base 80 HP, 105 attack, 105 defense, 105 special attack, 105 speed def, and then 80 speed, which is pretty solid. So this thing can either come bulky, can come offensive, can be a mix of the both. I'm really excited about Mesprit. I have not used this Pokemon yet at all, but I do see that it's got a very cool moveset. It gets Calm Mind also, Baton Pass, which is pretty cool. We can't Baton Pass any stats, but I believe we could do a dry Baton Pass. It gets Healing Wish. It also gets Knockoff, which can be really useful. It can be either special attacking, physical attacker. It can be bulky on the special or physical end. It gets U-turn for momentum. It gets Trick. This Pokemon's gonna be cool. It gets Thunder Wave, which is really important also, to be honest, because I've won a few games just because I was able to Thunder Wave someone. I believe now it never had this move, but I believe Play Rough is a new move. I know Azelf on my other draft also, we talked about that. I do believe Play Rough is a new move, which is going to be amazing against dark types. And I really like that it got Nasty Plot. I think that just sets it apart now. This one was only worth like 7 points, so I think Mesprit's going to be a really good value pick, just like Sneasel. And I'm pretty excited about it. Having that ground immunity is amazing. This thing can, again, set up rocks. It can be offensive. It can chip away at teams. It can take hits from Psychic fighting types that we needed. So the team is really come together now, and I'm really excited about Mesprit. And then the last Pokemon that I did pick, I wasn't 100% sure about this one, but I kind of wanted to just stick in an electric type in here. And this is a Pokemon I've always wanted to try it. I don't know how good it is. It was only 4 points. But that Pokemon is Ampharos. So Ampharos, I believe is how you say it, Ampharos. It's got one cool ability in Static, which could be very crucial in certain games. Things like maybe I don't know, things that have U-turn and stuff like that, or flip turn, they could take static and possibly get poisoned. I mean, not poisoned, paralyzed. But this thing is pretty cool because it got decent HP, decent defenses, and then it has a very nice special attack, which is pretty cool. So I feel like running maybe like an AV set or things like that might make this Pokemon kind of cool. I don't know how many weeks it's gonna come. I kind of got it because I do love to have an electric type, and there was no other electric type in the tier of 4 points or below that I liked. So I went for Ampharos. I've always wanted to use it. I never knew how good it was. It can't be that great if it's that low in the tier, but I think maybe some weeks it might come in clutch, who knows. And again, an AV set can be pretty sick. With that special attack of 115, I think it's pretty cool. So if a team is weak to electric moves, at least this thing can come in and chip away at it, and just set it up for the rest of the team. Not much to really say about Ampharos. Let's see, it gets like agility, gets dragon pulse, gets cotton guard, which is actually kind of cool. I didn't know that. That actually makes it even more useful. It gets heal bell, which is awesome. It gets light screen and reflect. Yeah, light screen and reflect. It gets a lot of cool things. Gets thunder wave, toxic, volt switch, you know, the huge. But Ampharos, I think, is a really cool pick that I can just fit in here. It doesn't hurt because we've kind of whittled down our ground weakness a lot. We have a lot of things that can come in on it, so I think Ampharos might be pretty cool. And I don't know, it's worth a try. We'll see if I keep it. We'll see if I'll bring it. People may not plan for it, so they might just overlook it, and then it comes in and just becomes an annoying Pokemon for the week. But I think hopefully we can fit it in there and just do something cool with it. So yeah, guys, that is the last Pokemon. We have used up all our points at this point. So I hope you do like the squad. Leave some comments. Let me know. Do you guys think that the squad's looking good? What would you change? What do you like? And just let me know which Pokemon do you think is going to be our top killer? That's a good question that I have for you guys. Is it going to be Garchomp? Is it going to be Gengar? Is it going to be Serp, Togekiss, Sneasel, Buzzwole, Ampharos? Who knows? But just leave some comments in the comment section, guys, letting me know what you think of the team. If you like the synergy, if you don't like it, what would you change? Let me know some cool, you know, again, like I always look at the comments. So if you guys do tell me things, like I may actually like go on that and maybe do some transfers if certain things may not be too helpful. But overall, I think the team is really cool. Let me know which one of these are your favorite. I think my favorite pick of this draft is probably, I think it's between my first two picks, Gengar and Garchomp. I think those are going to be, you know, the double G's, GG. I think those are going to be very, very useful, and I'm excited to use them, especially because Gengar's our mascot. We just came back to the channel. It's our first draft league on the channel, solo draft league. So Gengar being our mascot hopefully can put in a lot of work. But that's my favorite mon. Let me know what your favorite mon is, guys. And then that's pretty much it. That's the team. I hope you like it. Week 1 will be coming most likely the week after this one. I'm kind of doing my battles a little bit ahead, like recording them and then posting them the week after, so I'm kind of ahead on everything. But hopefully we can get some W's, and hopefully my goal is just to make it to playoffs. Again, this is a very competitive league. It's not going to be easy, especially doing live comps, which I'm not used to so much, but I'm excited about doing. So I just got to get used to doing that, but hopefully we can get some W's. I already know who my week 1 opponent's going to be. I didn't start building yet, but we'll get to that. But other than that, guys, make sure you do leave a like. Again, channel has restarted again, so as much love as possible would be amazing. If you are new to the channel, drop that click on the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.